Thursday, October 11th, 2018. I am going to make a review of Hurricane Michael. Now, right now we are currently looking at the shortwave infrared imagery for the Gulf of Mexico, and this is dating back on the 9th of October when Michael first entered the Gulf of Mexico. And right off the bat on this imagery, what do we see? Well, we can see tons and tons of aerosols completely surrounding this storm, getting sucked into this storm, creating these rain bands on the outside. I mean, it's just, to me it looks like it's complete. That's what it's made out of. But anyways, we're going to go back. First, we're going to start at, I kind of made a review post on my Facebook page, and this is exactly how I start out, saying that Michael was manipulated by man from the very beginning. That goes for all of our weather. It is all molested by man in one manner or another. This storm was completely full of and surrounded by aerosols left by planes and ships from the start, as acknowledged by the American Meteorological Society. And then I have the quotes down here. Aerosols act mostly as cloud drop condensation nuclei, and some of them as ice nuclei, both of which change cloud radiative and precipitation properties in complex ways. In warm, moist atmospheres, aerosols often invigorate deep convective clouds, usually resulting in greater electrical activity, stronger damaging winds, and a greater likelihood of flash floods. Studies indicate that aerosols might also modulate the intensity of tornadoes and hurricanes. So, this is right on the American Meteorological Society's website, and an information statement called inadvertent weather modification. Also in this post, I wanted to talk about the next rad. Okay, we'll get back up here. Then there's the path and the devices used to monitor and image this storm. The video below is of radar imagery from yesterday. Weather radars work by sending and receiving microwave pulses. When this storm got close to Florida, I started noticing interference spikes and other pulse anomalies radiating out from the sides of the storms. Now, what I mean is, you see, let me stop and I'll show. Right here's one. Right there's two in a row. We see these rib patterns, pulse anomalies. There's rib pattern on this side, pulse anomaly, spike anomaly, another spike anomaly right here. Alright, another one right there. So start it again. You see all these interference patterns. Okay, so we'll go back to what I was talking about, radiating. So, out the side of these storms, so I decided to check the single radar stations to see which ones were giving the interference signatures. For most of the day, the next rad in Tallahassee, Florida, was in what is referred to as searchlight mode. That can be seen on the single radar image below as a line or beam over Georgia. And that is this beam right here. It was in that mode for most of the day. Let's go to the next one right here. You see this beam right here radiating. We can also see these pulse anomalies around this storm starting. Okay, so go back to this post. Searchlight mode. In searchlight mode, a beam is focused at a fixed location and the average power density is much higher than it is during normal operation. If in this mode for more than 5 minutes, it can significantly heat that area of the atmosphere. This radar was in this mode for most of the day as Tropical Storm Gordon approached as well. The next radar I took a look at was the one in Fort Rucker, Alabama. A beam was radiating from it, pointing south-southwest. The eye of the hurricane rode right up this beam perfectly as if it were guiding the storm. If you were asking me, that is precisely what these beams from these radars were doing, heating and guiding this hurricane. So, I'm going to go down here, I'm going to open this video. I'm going to show you what I mean. There's this beam coming down. The radar is in the center, right here where this black dot is. And you'll notice this eye of this hurricane ride right up this beam. And that other beam is coming over from Georgia. So this is, to me, kind of like a triangulation. And then we'll see all kinds of other interference patterns, like here's from later in the day as it passed, still interference, and then you see this energy in the back. Now professionals will tell you that this is cold air getting trapped under a temperature version, which I do believe they're right to a certain degree, but you're seeing more than that. What else do we want to go along with here? Finish looking at. Still see several interference patterns through this storm as it moves up. This is the most current image. Well, I guess we got to refresh that one. But that was from the most current image. And as you can see, I'm in Western Maryland, and it rained here all day. So this front that was moving across the country kind of mixed right in with this storm right here. So it rained all day. We did get some remnants of Hurricane Michael. And as you can see, we're got several interference patterns through this too. Now that we're talking on that, I want to show you after it stopped raining tonight. This was my view of the sky. I mean, this was wild if it will open. And it's just long roll clouds, and they were pink, purple, and even green to a degree. I'm here in Western Maryland. So you can see the outline here from the pressure installed behind pushing this storm. I mean, you can see the microwave patterns in these roll clouds. So when I show you these lines in the sky, that's what I'm pointing at as roll clouds. And that's from high power microwave transmissions. And there was even more little smaller lines all through this, but they didn't really, because it was getting dark, so it was hard for my camera to pick up. But you can kind of see it there. That picture's out of focus. But I mean, it was just crazy looking. I mean, all my neighbors were outside too. Like when I walked outside, they were like, "Oh, it's like we're wondering where you were at." They all know I'm the weatherman. Everybody I work with knows I'm the weatherman. But these are just some, like right here was a bunch of little wavy lines. They don't really come out real well in this photo. But I don't know how people look. I mean, a lot of people will be like, "Oh, this is pretty." I mean, not if you know what you're looking at. This is. Then we'll take a look at the upper level water vapor imagery. So I like this because you can see where they gouge in these areas of warm air shoving this storm. You can literally see them. Now this is probably with some type of I know some of you don't believe in satellites and all that, but that's most likely what this is from. Now the other day we had these pulses on the mimic map. Yeah, the mimic map. They edited quite a bit of it out. But we got this blast here. I really wanted to see what it did, because at first you could see it mess with this storm off the west coast of Mexico or East Pacific and Michael. You see this zap, and then it really, after that zap, is when this hurricane picked back up and the eye reformed and all of that. So we got that going on, showing you the dry air mass, the installed high pressure. Yeah. See, this hurricane kind of acted like a hurricane, as in, like, it didn't stop here and sit for a week, like Harvey sat for a week over Texas, or Florence sat for a week over North Carolina. Now, some friends sent me some photos. They're dealing with flooding again in Virginia and North Carolina. If I have time, I might as well make this video pretty long and just go through a whole review of all this. We'll take a look at the visible feed. This is as this hurricane. I'm glad I kept this open, but like out in front here, we can still see all the massive aerosols all through this. And people, like on this day, because I also shared a video, we'll go from the other day as hurricane. Oh, that's in this same post. I'll show this guy here. Here's also a map. We see all this flooding, this storm front that moved across and combined. Look at all this flooding in the center of the country. I mean, this is all while we're paying attention down here. People are dealing with it too here in the center of the country. Like I always tell people, it doesn't have to be a hurricane to cause significant damage. Look at all this purple is major flooding. We got 295 locations across the country. That's actually the most I've ever seen. And all the power outages, 300, just as many in Georgia as there is in Florida. And I wanted Wednesday. This was the day of the hurricane, and up on the upper level here, we can see the magnetic frequencies from the microwaves. Right here, you can see all the wavy lines all through this. I mean, it's every day, and people were showing me pictures all up and down the East Coast yesterday of all this. Showed you all next rad images. Here's yet more. We can see all the aerosols right here on the bottom half. It just gets sucked right back in and keeps feeding this storm, like I said in this post. You know, to me, you know, once you acknowledge it, to me it isn't so inadvertent anymore. They know exactly what they're doing. This is no accident. This is no accident at all. Well, I wanted to We'll refresh that. Oh, I wanted to give Mr. Harold Saeed, he put my work up on his website, newsparadigm.org, and he featured my work. I took this screenshot of Hurricane Michael on the 9th here, and he's got clouds seeded with metallic aerosols create magnetic domains when directed energy applied in order to manipulate and steer TC Michael. And this one you can see really well where they're targeting this storm, and then the waves emanating out from it. That's like, you know, like when you throw a rock in a pond. And this is all aerosols, plasma. Look, you can see a line right here where a plane went through. Fuel to the fire. Fuel to the fire. And then he has my videos from day 1 to 8th, 9th, 2 on the 10th. And I made a couple videos where you could see in the eye. You could literally see planes in the eye seeding, and you can see this nice square shape to it. But yes, so thank you to Harold. The people, if you're new to this is a good website at weathermodificationhistory.com. They got timeline and, you know, weather modification right here, 1800 to present, and here is 10 technologies to modify the weather. I like this infographic, you know, because some people, you know, they just think airplanes or, you know, or cloud seeders, but you got all types of stuff. You got ionospheric heaters like HAARP, sounding rockets, which work in conjunction with HAARP, satellites, which can work in conjunction with their, I mean, when it comes to the end, this stuff is all working in conjunction. And, you know, if people want to say, oh, you know, the weather modification isn't real, well, it's well documented, going back years and years and years, so forth. Another shout out to Mike Morales at Above Ground World News. He makes a little bit more videos than I do, so if you like my videos, I would suggest go over to his and check his out. Jim Lee, he's one of the, I guess, co-creators or creator of Weather Modification History.com with Dominic Marama. They're both graphic artists, I believe, as well, or artists, whatever you want to call them. And what else? Oh yeah, I like this loop. You can see the moisture being fed every night. See, as the storm moves up, we looked at the upper level water vapor. I mean, that about covers it, except for the worldview. We'll go over the worldview real quick because, like I said, this storm, from the beginning, consists mostly of aerosols. And we'll start here, the 4th of October. Now, right off the bat here, what do we see right here? Just masses and masses of aerosols. Aerosols. Here's a couple thunderstorm plumes, but I mean, they're just comprised of it too. And you know, the equipment they use to get these images is radiating this crap too, so it's heating this. It's part of this post I added down here by Mr. Pete Ramon. He's the Nano Man, but he talks about radars, how the first microwave oven was based on the first radar, and you know about radar frequencies, active denial system. Like when you want to get down into the science of this, I recommend you read what he's got. I mean, if you can understand it all. Beam the hurricane with microwaves, then remote sensor beaming of the hurricane. Ta-da, we made a photograph. And then he said, oh, you did more than that. And yes, they did. They did way more than that. So there's the fourth. Here's the fifth. And what do we notice? Just a mass and mass of aerosols. Change the image a little later in the day so it isn't all cut out. And what do we see? Just aerosols galore. Go to the sixth. What do we see? Aerosols galore. Seventh. What do we see? Aerosols galore. I mean, this should be so obvious. So obvious. What do we see? The eighth, especially out here in front of this storm. Aerosols galore. All the way up. I remember this day. I took photos too. I mean, we were covered in aerosols too. I mean, you can't really see it too well there. You can see where they were driving in. Alright, and then, you know, all this crap behind, like I said, when you see it on the shortwave here, you can still see aerosols and them igniting it. I guess that, yeah, that's a good word. Igniting. They lay them aerosols and then heat it and then bam. I mean, it's worldwide. Got this hurricane sitting off here, and on any given day, see all this? This is aerosols left by ships. This is ship tracks, right? All left by boats. Now, like, get earlier in the day, see what if it's loaded. Yeah. Now, some days you might not be able to see these lines, like down here, for instance. Most of this it's all aerosols. It's artificial clouds. Fake clouds. All of it. The whole planet. Every day. It's covered in fake clouds. Man-made crap. The ninth. What do we see? Aerosols, aerosols. And then we got these storms over here where they shouldn't be forming and popping up. Hurricanes forming in the Mediterranean Sea. They call them medicanes. I mean, I swear, they just make up as they go. But it's everywhere. It's everywhere. kind of bothers me. I don't know how this doesn't bother people, or how they can't see it, how they can't look up at their sky. You know? Like, I open up. We go to my photos. And it's just, go to my albums, like this last album I made. I mean, it's just horrible. Look at this. And you're going to tell me this is normal airline traffic. This is just contrails. See this? You see this? This is the second half of August, I believe. I mean, like this. Look at this. Do you remember looking up and seeing the sky look like this? Look at this. You can't tell that's being microwaved. I mean, I could go on and on. And on and on. And on and on. And on. These are all albums that I've made of the sky every month, and radar images. All the microwaves everywhere. Because, yeah, these microwaves here work in conjunction with it all. I mean, it shows up on here. And then you got even the wind farms. You think, yeah, well, they're not so innocent either. Go back. So the 10th. Today is the 11th, and this is where we'll end. Here's the sky crap here. Look at let this load. Go to my Facebook page. And, you know, people showing me their skies all over the place. Somebody tagged me. Let's see if I can find it. I mean, it's just... And thank you to all my friends, all of you that participate, talk to me, give me updates, listen to me. You know, couldn't do this without you guys. I thank all of you. Thank you all. And, you know, some people have questions and they get on here, and please don't attack anybody if they're novice, or if they're just learning, or if they say something or questioning something. Because I had like a family friend on here the other day asking questions, and a few people kind of ganged up on him, and it kind of scared him off, and he was really interested. Like, please try to refrain from name calling and stuff like that. Anyways, that's my report. This one here was a dandy. I mean, it did kind of act like a hurricane. That was another thing I got. I got reports from people not too far away from where the destruction zone was, saying that they got nothing. You know, because that's another thing, like, because I was watching all the wind speeds, and the wind speed data from the ground base instruments and the buoys weren't adding up to what they were saying. But then somebody else just sent me a message about saying that they were asking if there was possibly tornadoes and stuff inside of here, because there was damage in one area, and then one area is completely fine. And so there's still a lot of questions, unanswered questions about the damage and what exactly happened yesterday. But it'll all come to light soon enough. Look at this. I mean, it's just complete filth. Chem bombs galore. But anyways, that's my report. Sorry I made it a long one, but I wanted to cover a good bit, and I think I did. So, we'll check back in at a later date.